Take a knee on this one.
We're taking a knee on this one. This is a deliberate diet first. For those of you that don't know, me and Sebas are out on a vacation in Aruba.
Yep.
And we needed a host for this week.
So this that you're actually seeing right now is a hologram of us. We are right now partying at the beach, but we wanted to record this and let you guys know that today we'll be hearing from two different people that are not us.
The stylings of Eduardo Morales and Joe G.
And with that, we're going to step away, and we hope you guys enjoy this one.
And we're going to drop them with a question about core memories and just let the conversation flow from there. Gentlemen, what are some core memories that you guys have, good or bad?
And with that, we're off.
All right.
Core memories. Now, when I think core memories, right?
Okay.
The first thing that comes to mind is perhaps the great movie Amy Poehler.
Oh, of shoot, where the emotions have emotions.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Thank
you
you.
didn't know
Yeah.
that right away. I didn't know that. I was buying time.
Yeah.
So when that comes up, right, we think core memory, something that has fundamentally shaped who you have become.
Yes.
And maybe not in a good way or a bad way, as we see in the second movie. And I'll go first to buy you some time.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So core memories, I think about, childhood, and I've had this conversation now with the summer coming up. Something that defines summer for me, and in terms of senses, is in terms of smell. So this thing I smell, and immediately I think of summer, and it's such a unique thing. And I've brought it up to people before, so I'm curious what you think. When you smell water coming out of a hose, it has that distinct metallic, ironish smell. So when I think about summer, I think about, running through the grass, perhaps, water balloon fight. We had just inflated all these things with water. And so that smell to me is a core memory. Like I will smell it. I've been smelling it over the course of the last couple of days because we've been hitting 80-degree weather. And I don't know, it's just such a core memory. Just it brings flashbacks of childhood and just good times. So does that ring a bell to you? Do you have a particular smell?
Ooh, yeah. Starting with smells, I mean, definitely. So I have like my grandma, my mom on my dad's side, was like an intense coffee drinker. So like the smell of coffee in like this, especially like it's like this combination of like the smell of fresh brewed coffee in like an old farmhouse. So add in like old wood smell.
Okay.
That's a distinct memory. Also if I can branch off that, the sound of like a lawnmower, because I grew up in like suburban Cedar Rapids,
right,
where lawns were more prevalent compared to Chicago. And yeah, when like hearing like a lawnmower in the distance, when your like window is open, that like faint smell of gasoline, fresh cut grass, those. Oh, and then shoot the sound of cicadas,
classic
where they're
summer
like
sound.
Nearly deafening, is like a deep, like that brings back just like the general vibe of like summer as a kid.
Okay, no, dude,
So,
I'm glad you bring that up too, because the sound of lawn getting cut, the smell of grass also just brings that same kind of feeling for me.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's because I've always been on the outskirts of the city. So I've never really lived in the city itself. Where you live now, you're in Wicker Park.
Yeah.
Congrats on the move, by the way.
Thank you.
Wicker is great. I think it's actually Bucktown, you said, right?
It is technically, but like it's on the edge.
Technicalities,
Right, yeah.
Whatever. But you're right. Like when I go into the city, there's no grass. Dogs are peeing on the sidewalk. They're doing their business on the sidewalk, and sometimes it's jarring for me because where I usually live, there's a lot of grass.
Right.
I live right next to a forest preserve, a lot of good nature, and so the dichotomy of living in a city, sometimes you don't get a lot of what you do in the end. Okay, so you mentioned, where you lived in Cedar Rapids on the outskirts, near a farm or on a farm where your grandparents lived?
Oh, well, so it was like a farmhouse, but like the city had grown up around it. So like, I think technically back when they were there, it was like farm to the right, and if you're like facing at it, and then like just town, like suburb to the left.
Okay.
So they were like literally on the edge when I was growing up, and I'm sure it's like since filled in, like that farm is no longer there.
Did developers reach out to them to try to take over and try to an up situation?
Not to my knowledge. Like it was. This is getting, I guess, deep into it, but like It was where my dad grew up. It was Waukee, Iowa, and it was like his graduating class was like 60 people, and it's like weird. Like they have like a really intense like identity of like their graduating class of like Waukee of 60 people. Like they still get together. They still have like regular get-togethers. They
Oh,
still keep in contact.
good for them.
You know, they're of the generation that really embraced Facebook. They're like sharing photos and whatnot. Whereas now, like I think it was the city of Des Moines, capital of Iowa, expanded enough where like Waukee became a
Okay.
suburb, and then it like just shot up. So now they're graduating, I want to say like 1,000 people in a
Okay,
class or something like
wow.
that. So it's like completely different,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So like he grew up, I mean, truly in like a small town like situation. Like he remembers like he would go hunting in high school. Like he would have his like, you know, like shotgun in the back of his truck, kind of like, you know,
Okay.
he'd be hunting, you know, off in like the woods there.
Yeah.
That was his experience growing up. I grew up in like suburban Cedar Rapids.
Okay.
Different experience, like different experience in like in a neighborhood situation, and now here we are in
Yeah.
Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
So
No.
yeah,
Okay. So you said we're getting deep into it,
yeah.
and I guess for some context, right? So, Joe, when did we meet? We met
We it would have
20
been 2022,
two.
like April-ish.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
coming on 4 years, right?
Dang,
4 years, 3 more years, and that's it. You know, we're locked in for life. Which once you hit that
We can be
7 years,
already.
we could be
Yeah.
already actually,
Yeah.
but you know, once you hit that 7, it's legit. And so I guess part of my inspiration today is to try to get to know you at a deeper level.
Yeah.
You know, I
okay.
think we've had a lot of deep conversations.
For sure.
And I love getting to know people where they come from, right? So
Mhm.
for context, you know, being an immigrant coming here
Yeah.
with very little family, you know,
Mhm.
father, mother, siblings, and a couple of uncles, a couple of cousins.
Mhm.
You know, we were talking about your grandparents, your grandfather earlier,
Mhm.
and I guess and now you're bringing up your father too, right?
Yeah.
And so how you grew up is so interesting to me. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
who is Joe? Who is
Okay.
Joe from Iowa? Who was, and I guess even leading back to the earlier question, you know, core
Mhm.
memories.
Yeah.
You know, it's all related because I just want to understand. You're an interesting person, Joe. Like, and we're gonna get into it
Same.
today,
Same.
right?
You too. Yeah.
Everyone's interesting, you know. And
True.
if you understand how to break in and like, you know, weave your way through the I guess the normal random surface level questions
Yeah.
to get to the deep ones,
Mhm.
you'll find some cool nuggets.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm just curious. Okay, so you said your father was a hunter back in the day. You know, have you ever shot a gun?
Yes. So I have shot a gun.
All right.
And
An
like at a
AK-47, right? Yeah.
no, I've never shot. I guess I have shot some. I guess what you call like a semi-automatic rifle.
You would know more than I haven't
And
shot a
this is
gun, so
yeah.
you would know. You're the expert here.
That I will say as a side note, like you know, so I grew up in like suburban Iowa, but like I recently had a friend, shout out to Alex Peters, who we grew up and like Sarah's like, you guys know a weirdly like you know a lot about like knives, guns, and like not
Yeah.
tying.
Okay.
And I'm like, I think that's just kind of like
Uh-huh.
a regular like subculture with that. Like you know, I had zero work on a farm. My dad did work on a farm, like you know, high school, college. I think just high school, but yeah, you learn a lot about like the agricultural industry, kind of just by proxy.
Okay.
And a lot's relative, right? Like some know plenty more. I'm not an expert, but like that is just part of like that's Iowan industry. Is like it is an agricultural state for sure.
Right.
But so going back to like shooting guns, so it was so my parents hosted for a number of years exchange students, and that's like you know that is something that is not a regular thing that they get to experience. So it would be a regular thing like we're gonna go to like out into the countryside. My dad is like co-owner of like a plot of land for hunting, fishing, and we're gonna shoot some guns, and you're gonna
Yeah.
experience what that's
Okay.
like, you
Hell
know.
yeah.
So
what would you
oh,
shoot at? Pumpkin?
it'd be like into he'd have like some small targets.
Yeah. Okay.
Like there's little ones that you can like they're just like a little metal thing that you can like set up so that it falls down when you hit it, or
Yeah.
like a little rubber thing, things like that.
Wow. Okay. So I would have never guessed.
Yeah.
First of all, but I guess it makes so much sense, right? And how old were you when you were shooting? First time you
I
turned your
mean,
gun sideways and just started
you-
popping off.
I've
Or the
I
hat
guess
to the side. What's that? Or the hat to the side. Turn the side.
I have yet to do that. So
listen, Joe made it to Chicago, right? So the city was calling him for a long time.
that must be. But I mean, I probably would have been 16-ish, maybe.
Okay, that's prime shooting.
Like yeah, and like BB guns, I guess, in like Boy Scout camp or like
Yeah.
Cub Scout camp, whatever. Um, but yeah, the fun. I've done guns. I've never done actual hunting. Like it was on my radar for a time. Like I could take the hunter safety class, and because it's a whole process to like be able to do that. And it was just never prioritized. But like my dad, you know, he'll still regularly go out there. He's got like tree stands, so he'll like 3 a.m. He'll be out there and like watching the sunrise, and he had all these beautiful stories of like watching like a bobcat and like her cubs like walking through, or watching like the squirrels wake up and do their thing.
Wow. Okay.
And Sarah, one time, Sarah, my wife,
yeah.
she's like, I think I want to go hunting sometime with your dad.
Yeah.
You-
okay.
have
did
you've
tell me
heard this?
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So this is for the people on the pod here. And so like they were prepping for it, and I'm like, you're gonna, you know, you'll have to wake up early. She's like, no problem. And then it was like literally a week to it, and we were talking about it. I'm like, hey, one thing, because Sarah doesn't even watch like any violence, any blood in a movie. She's not about. I'm like, hey, are you aware, Sarah, that like part of hunting is hunting? Like you if there's a deer, you're supposed to shoot it. And then you also like field dress it, like you do the basic like removal of the guts and whatnot in the wilderness. She's like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna have to let him know I can't do this. Yeah, she was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
She thought you guys were hunting for a deal or something.
Yeah, right. She's like ready to watch some wilderness like
Just watch some hunting movies or something.
yeah, you know.
So
Observe
learn,
the deer.
You learn the first time, and you're like, you know what? I didn't know that. I didn't know. Now I know. My bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Joe, you mentioned a couple of things there that I'm gonna pick at.
Sure.
You mentioned your dad would be up at 3 a.m. and watch the sunrise.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I take you to be someone that also really appreciates a sunrise and will put in the effort to wake up in order to see a sunrise.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of people do that. Not a lot in my circles. From what I understand, not a lot of people are posting it on Instagram. I only know a couple of people, and they're all watching.
Right.
And
Other present.
Shout out to everyone there.
Yeah.
And so, and I say that because we went to go see a sunrise.
Yeah.
Was it before the New Year?
Or
after the New Year?
I want to say it was like February. Maybe was it? It was before the solstice, so it would have been like January, February. Yeah.
Because it wasn't that cold. I remember it wasn't freezing.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And again, we woke up 5 a.m. You probably woke up earlier that day, but would you say that that's where your appreciation for stuff like that comes from? You know, from your dad. You know, like I'm just curious where you think that comes from.
Good question. You know, definitely, I would say in part, like I think because my dad is like an incredibly active guy. Like if he's up, like and he's like both my parents are like to the age where they are like waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and they're just awake, but then they're like fading by 8:30.
Yep.
So, like. You know, if he's up, he's thinking about things. He might be like already in the office, like home office, like working on stuff. Like even in retirement, he's still like super active. And I think those are, but he does have a deep appreciation for nature. Even like when we were young, I mean, my parents took us on, trips to different parks or whatnot. And I think like when you're like almost you don't appreciate it enough as a kid. Like my dad's like, that's a bear. Like I think we were in Yellowstone. He's like, "That's a bear. That's amazing." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, just like TV." Yep. In hindsight, probably like disappointing. Which now I very much appreciate it. But like, no, I think that is probably a big. So I think like for him, hunting is a time where he can just sit and enjoy.
Yeah.
And he does. I think he now has very intentional, like. I think he will definitely like wake up, he'll read the Bible or like read or be present. And I think that's something that he in his active mind like intentionally does. So yeah, that's a great question. I think I look at sunrises, I'm like, this is great.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that I've ever thought about it, but that could very well be like where that comes from.
And
Yeah.
it's funny because questions like this sometimes don't get asked, or you
Yeah.
yourself don't think about why you're drawn to something.
Yeah.
And it's not until someone points it out that you really start to try to think, personally, and like
Yeah.
self-reflect on where it may have come from.
Yeah.
I find myself doing stuff like that all the time. I'm like, why do I like soccer?
Okay. Yeah.
And you trace it back to where like I was 2 years old or something like that, and
Mm.
that's where it comes from. So no, I just wanted to know because you bringing up the fact that your dad does that. And
Yeah.
just our history just leads me to want to know something more about that.
Yeah.
We did get a question from the audience.
Okay.
Sunsets or sunrises? Which one do you guys prefer?
How can I choose the sun?
It's the same sun, right?
It's the same, yeah, it's the
Right,
same
right.
both.
All right,
both
the
ways.
audience member, you're kicked out. How dare you?
No, I'll answer because
yeah.
I've thought about this.
Yeah.
I appreciate a sunrise a little bit more
Okay.
just because you have to earn it. You definitely you have to
Ooh.
wake up. You have to plan out your night the day before in order to wake up to see a sunrise, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
But those sunrises in the winter are
True. That is a great answer. I will also add that like people like I like the like just being up before a lot of people are, like being in that quiet of the morning. Like this is yours. The rest of the day
you just
is in
wake
front
up
of you.
and you say, I'm better than everyone else.
Well, I do that anyway. Sunrise or
4
not.
a.m., right?
Yeah, 4 a.m. Yeah, as I'm doing 100 push-ups. No
Uh-huh.
problem. Kidding about that. But what about can I reflect the same question to you?
Yeah.
Like, has there been something that you've like reflected on recently? That like, oh, I got that like from one of my parents or both of my parents. Of like, oh, this is something that I appreciate that like I realize I got from like one of my parents.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a good one.
Yeah.
This year's been fun.
Mm.
And a lot of reflection has been happening. And I think I'm seeing my dad in a different light.
Okay.
And I see him as someone where I'm like, oh, you're really smart. And he's done a lot. He's a business owner. He's led a family.
Yeah.
He's created 2 families and successful at both.
Yeah.
But when you get to see the intelligence come out and in a sneaky way, right?
Okay.
For example, like he's really good at giving you leading questions where he already knows the answer and he knows who you are, but he wants you to answer a specific way.
Okay.
And so he'll give you a leading question of like, I don't even know what to tell you. It's almost manipulative, but I don't mean that in a negative way. Manipulative gets bad connotation, I guess, but it's manipulative, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all are to an extent, right? Me asking you a question is like, if I'm truly being unbiased, you ask it a certain way, but if you kind of want an answer, and I feel like I'm that way sometimes where it's just fun, like, and not in a negative way, right? But it's just fun to ask something in a way where you're just gonna have fun with it. It's also messing with you, and I'm just here to laugh off that question.
Let's keep it real. You like being a little cheeky.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love
cheeky
yeah.
boy.
100%.
All of
100%.
us. All of us.
But like seeing where it comes from, like in real time, it's like, oh, okay. And you can only see that through adulthood, right?
Yeah.
You're able to reflect on yourself. You're maybe a little bit more comfortable with who you are, and then you can actually reflect to everyone around you, and obviously your family you're going to be the most similar to.
Right.
So yeah, the cheekiness. I think that cheekiness comes from just the family and all that stuff. It's to be around us. Sometimes you're going to catch strays.
Yeah.
None of us all the time. One would say, gonna catch some strays, and that's what helps you just kind of build up your armor for the next one. So the next time it just bounces off of you, and it bounces right back to that person.
Yeah.
And it's fun because like it keeps you just sharp, right? It keeps you sharp. You're having fun. It's light. It's never too much unless you don't know where it's coming from. It's trust, right? It's trust that like I know you don't mean that in a negative way, and maybe that's where the comedy thing comes from. So yeah, that's one of the things I've been self-reflecting on. Oh, we have another question over. Lady in the pink, lady in the back. Yep.
Hi. My question for you guys would be, because you're talking about learning and stuff right now, what is something each of us is learning right now? I'd like to hear that from your guys' point of view. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, man.
First time comer.
I appreciate your question, man. Thank you so much. I know that was hard for you. All right, learning, Joe. Any thoughts on what you're learning
Yeah.
at current times?
What am I learning right now? I mean, I think the biggest thing that I'm learning right now, like let me give you like a like more of a personal growth thing, and let me give you like an academic's not the
No,
right word.
yeah,
I'm no longer
I
in
feel that.
school,
I feel that.
but like a more of like a heady, I guess, like book learning thing. Um, I think so. Last year, for Lent, I like gave up social media. We talked about that, yeah. And like just realizing how much of a hold it has on us, like how short my attention span had become, how much I filled up every waking, like every spare moment with like scrolling with my thumb. And I'm trying, so like I've done a lot better. Like I have many blocks on my phone to like limit social media, but like trying to build up on top of that and being like, I want to be a lot more present. I want to like be more present, like be present with my emotions. I want to like be present in the silence of things. Like, so now I'll take the blue line to work and like no headphones, no, like I don't want to listen to anything, minus deliberate dive. Um, and yeah, just be present and let whatever thoughts be there. Like I try and like feel like okay, I am standing on ground right now and like feeling my body because like something that like Sarah taught me, through her own experiences was like you don't feel your emotions in your head, you don't feel it in your mind, you feel it in your body.
Hmm.
Like anger is felt in your, maybe your like forehead or your chest, or happiness is felt in like your hands, your stomach. So I think like not just like limiting the social filling of things, but also being present um, with myself and like thinking through like, okay, what am I feel like on a regular basis, like doing some breathing exercises, and I do box breathing. I don't know if you've done that.
Yeah.
And then being like, okay, what am I feeling right now, and why am I feeling that, and where's my head at? Where's my head at right now? What am I, what's occupying my thoughts right now? And that's been really healthy of like, okay, I might have had a bad day yesterday. I might be walking into like an intense day of work,
Hmm.
but shoot, right now, I am feeling the bridge underneath me. I am feeling the wind of the Chicago River,
Hmm.
you know, on my face. And that's where I'm at. And nothing, to me at least, nothing else, strictly speaking, exists
Yeah. Okay.
um in this moment. So that's that what I'm learning. Um I'm also reading a book on I believe it's called The Death and Life of the American Small Town. I might be paraphrasing that, but
Okay.
like that's been an interesting, since moving to Chicago, from the suburbs to Chicago, it's been really interesting to be like, oh shoot, like people can live like this. There's trains.
Because that was 4 years
Like
ago, right? So just for context,
yeah,
you moved from.
yeah, from I mean, like Cedar Rapids, Jacksonville, Florida, Lafayette, Indiana. Um, those are, I guess, the three last places. Yeah, to Chicago, and just like such a different lifestyle, such a lifestyle that I've enjoyed. So now I'm like wanting to like explore, like, okay, why do we make choices on how we build our environments?
Yeah.
What does that look like? Why do people, what does the American small town look like? What is the truth in it? What is like what we make mythology out of? So that's what I'm reading about.
Hmm.
But what about you? What's something you're learning right now?
So going off of the book topic, I'm
Yeah.
reading a book called A Brief History of the Earth,
Mm.
Bill Bryson, and I
Mm-hmm,
brought it up to you, and it's opening my eyes so much on something I've already thought about before. Where if you zoom out and look at us from above, like from a bigger picture, right?
mm-hmm,
As a species, we're so very young and naive
mm-hmm.
in the sense of history. Where if I told you, and I think I told you this already, but I'll repeat it, that we didn't find out the true age of the planet of the Earth
Yeah.
until less than 100 years ago. We found out in like 1958
Mm.
that the Earth was 4.5 billion years old. And so think of like in the context of like all of history and like all of the time that we've been thinking and like doing science, that
Mm-hmm.
how how recent of a discovery that was, right?
Yeah.
Like how all these inventions and how far we've come
Mm-hmm.
as a species, we've come so far, but I feel like as individuals, we still have so much more to go. And I think that's where like we find ourselves sometimes, like we're in a constant battle with technology, just because
Mm-hmm.
technology has left us far and behind now.
Right.
And like you're talking about cell phones, right? Like we're truly all now battling not, I don't want to say the addiction, but the addiction and kind of like that dopamine hit that our phones have.
Yeah.
And talking about being more present in the moment, that's something that I've also really made a conscious effort to be more
Okay.
present in every moment.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like I have two phones now. And
Yeah.
so imagine how much
Same, actually. Yeah.
I have two phones, I have two screens and a laptop.
Yeah. You guys talking about screen time when he's screen maxing over here.
Straight up, like I have two phones here in my work desk,
Uh-huh.
two screens and my laptop. So we're talking like 5 screens here.
Yeah.
So I totally recognize that. And then I love movies. I'll watch YouTube, right?
Mhm.
So who I am outside of those things, like I tend to be very conscious about where my time is going, right?
Mhm.
And I think I've been doing a good job because now you'll see my phone, my personal phone, and you'll just see I'm backed up on texts that
Yeah.
I need to respond to. And it's because I like to give thoughtful responses to people.
Yes.
And when I first read it, I'm usually doing something in the middle of something.
Mhm.
And so it would be both a disservice to what I'm doing in that moment and to the person that I'm responding. So I'm half-assing two things.
Right.
And so rather than, do that half-ass two
Mhm.
things, I'm picking the one where I am presently in the moment of. And then when I have a couple of minutes, then I will give a thoughtful response. So I found that's been better for my own, reducing anxiety and not feeling like I
Yes.
need to do everything. So yeah, we have another question.
We have another question from the crowd, please.
Yeah, I appreciate you always got a full ass everything, so I appreciate that. I'm a helpless romantic. My name is Jerry Asphalt, and my question is for Joe.
Okay.
We know you're a small time boy from Iowa, and we want to know how did you manage to pull a Colombiana? Sarah, you've mentioned her a few times, and we would love to know. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for bringing up.
Sir, what a great question, by the way. You've clearly been doing your homework. I appreciate that. The people want to know.
Thank you. Big time listener, delivered dive. Hi, Mom.
Thank you, Jerry. Your voice is lovely, by the way. So, yeah, thank you for bringing up the best part of my life / day, be able to hang out with Sarah. Oh man, so Sarah and I met in Jacksonville, Florida, and which is the Paris of Florida, and yeah, so we were so it was I'll give some like back story to it. Like I used to be kind of like a serial. I had like a very regular crush on someone throughout like my adult life leading up to that, and like gone through a period of like recognizing like, okay, that is unhealthy. Like I want to like be present with myself, and I don't want to like pursue any romantic relationships, at the time. And I signed up to like volunteer, to feed, provide food to like homeless individuals in Jacksonville. And basically we'd meet at a church, we'd make a bunch of like PB&J sandwiches, pack them in bags with like some like granola bars, and basically we'd walk around downtown Jacksonville
Okay.
and hand them out.
Humble flex by Joe here.
Sorry, yes.
Just saving the unfortunate. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, not my intent, but that
I get what your intent.
that is an
The
accurate
camera's
statement.
rolling.
Yes,
Joe's
no.
like, all right, let me.
But that was and then I met Sarah there. We had like just enjoyed conversing with each other. We're both, I think, frequent question askers. We both enjoy like having good discussion with people. And we enjoyed having good discussion with ourselves. I was able to speak some Spanish, so we would sometimes speak a little bit in Spanish. And just like on the car trip to and from downtown, we would like chat. And eventually I was like, hey, do you want to grab some coffee? And actually, shoot, let me back that up, because before that happened, Sarah said, like, we were having a conversation, and like it was about her like research in like for a political it was like political research at the university. She was attending university at the time there. So she slid into my DMs, but it was like, here I would like to follow up with some additional information on public opinion regarding the current sheriff of Jacksonville. That was the intro.
Very light topics.
Absolutely.
And he
yeah.
said another humble flex, by the way. Colombiana slid into Joe's
His
DMs
DM.
into his
Yeah.
DMs. All right, just
To talk politics. To talk politics.
It's very yeah. But you know,
Poly charged. It was really very poly charged.
I was like very excited to like respond. This was Facebook Messenger at the time. And yeah, we so the next like that was leading into it where then I asked, I was like, hey, would you like to grab coffee sometime? And like coffee became dinner. We started to date. And within a couple months, like I was going to like be long term on a project back in Iowa for my company. I was like a field engineer at the time. So yeah, she was gone for the summer. She came back. Everyone else in the group kind of knew that I would be leaving. She did not know that. So she was like, oh dang, you're leaving? And we like went on this first date. So I talked about it like, hey, like I'm so sorry that I didn't realize you didn't know that. Would you, it's just like just a few dates, would you be open to it? But we continued dating. And basically I was able to, the company paid for me to fly back to Jacksonville, I think once a month or once every other month. She came to Iowa
okay.
regularly. So yeah, we dated long distance for cumulatively 2 years.
Wow.
And at that point, and I mean, we would chat for like hours when I got back from like work. Um, and at that point, I got back. She had to go to grad school in Indiana. And within a couple months, I like, you know, previous relationships, it was always like, hey, I'm actually going to be going back. Like, I'm on an internship. I'm going to be going back to school. You know, I don't think this is going to work out. And that would be, you know, it'd be like some reasons why the relationship wouldn't work out. It wasn't even a question of like, oh, hey, like to my company, hey, I will be moving to Indiana. You let me know if I can work remote or not. And they're like, yeah, you can do that. That's fine. But it was just such a switch of like, no, I'm absolutely going to be continue to dating Sarah, hopefully for marriage. Did work out. And there was no question. So yeah, moved to Indiana. And we got engaged in November. We figured if we knew we were going to get married, we didn't want to like wait for it. So we figured, all right, May 2020 should be great, like time to get married, to have a wedding.
Joe, let me ask you this. Was anything else going on in the world during May of 2020?
Absolutely not. Minus the pandemic. Yeah, you're picking up on my foreshadowing here. So yeah, we get everything set up. And then the pandemic hits. And honestly, that was like kind of fantastic. Like our wedding was 15 people. It was in my brother had bought like this old Victorian home in Marion, Iowa, suburb of Cedar Rapids. So it was there, and it was just like my family, Sarah's family, a few of our best friends, and we were able to just like, I mean, usually in a wedding, you're like trying to bop about and like, make sure you say hi, appreciate everybody. Here's like, we're just gonna have long conversation. We're gonna dance together. We did like one loop around the block, and yeah, and that was just a fantastic wedding. And yeah, it's been a really fantastic. I get to wake up and go to sleep next to Sarah every day. We get to like spend time together, and just enjoy each other's company. We get to make decisions about life together, and she is my wife, my best friend, and it's great. So
shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Sarah. We're gonna have you on the pod here shortly, and I have another one of these leading questions.
Yeah.
That self-reflection, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I know you've been to Barcelona. You lived in Barcelona for some time, right?
So close. I lived in Zaragoza, which is like a few hours away in Spain, like a few hours away from Barcelona.
And how long were you there?
Slightly under a year. So like one academic year.
That's significant. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you also lived in Nicaragua.
I did, yes.
In Managua, right? For how long?
That was like 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you knew Spanish leading up to you meeting Sarah.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So that helped.
Yeah.
And the self-reflection question that I want to ask is,
yeah,
what is it about Sarah Latin culture that someone from Iowa was drawn to, right? Because I've met a lot of people from Iowa.
Yeah.
Born in Iowa, went to high school, went to college, have a job in Iowa, never left, never traveled.
Yeah.
And here's Joe, not only did that, but literally married someone from Colombia and goes to spend time with her family that lives in Brazil
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
year. Right? That's unique. And that's what I'm saying. Like a not so average Joe,
Yes.
what is it about the Latin culture?
Oh, geez.
Great. One might say Iowa's a flyover state. One might say it. Just
Not me.
People have said that. Yeah.
Never me. Never
I'd
me.
say hidden gem, hidden gem. But no, yeah, you know, but come to Iowa. I'll show you a good time. But no, great question. I mean, so leading up to this, I'll say, so I think there is probably an alternate universe version of me
Hmm.
that is like doing some manufacturing engineering job and like in Iowa and is just doing that. But it was like my last year of high school that through kind of a series of connections got connected to an opportunity to be an exchange student in Spain. It worked out where I graduated high school in Iowa and then I had basically a gap year, whereas in Spain, but like my high school, strictly speaking, grades did not matter. It could be purely there for like connection making, cultural learning. Like I lived with a host family while I was there, um, and yeah, so it was like 18 years, and then all of a sudden, like I was like cast into Spain, where I did not know fool that I was, did not know the language. I thought like a few months of Duolingo would be sufficient.
Oh, so you had never even had classes in high school?
I had that's the thing. I had like two
Okay,
years
yeah.
of
That's pretty
Spanish
common,
class. And then I was like, it was like the worst grade I was getting. I was like, I'm not going to use this if I'm going into engineering. Like, I don't need it.
Okay.
And then I went to the country that invented Spanish.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was like just such an intense experience of like being effectively a deaf mute. Um, and then slowly coming out of that and like learning and being able to communicate. And then just like you never know how you could think differently until you get like a different way of thinking. Like you literally need that to be able to realize, oh, like they think that, but then that I don't have to think this way. Like
Okay.
this now I understand. Okay, why I used to think this, or why like folks, the cultural elements of Iowa and the cultural elements of Spain and of Nicaragua and of Colombia.
So you're talking about a culture shock, essentially, right?
Is
Yeah.
culture shock, but then maybe embrace
Okay.
and being able to like there's the learning a new culture means you get to reflect on your own.
Right.
You know,
Oh yeah.
if you're willing to do so, I guess. But so none of this answers your question. I'm sorry.
No, we're learning about the Spanish Joe.
Right. And yeah, no, I mean, I think what Sarah and I are both very much like quality time people. And we enjoy learning about people. So I think that is a big part of it. Just like a big part of our relationship is like a great Saturday for us is like we have a slow morning. We sit on the couch and we talk. We go and get coffee and we talk. We might like go for a walk and talk.
Yeah.
Like that's and then we like hang out in the evening. Like that's a great Saturday for us.
Oh yeah.
And I think there is that very much that sense of like culture and community and just like you know Iowa has like is very like has that very like I think it's called like monochronological or like there's a term for it. I'm butchering it, but like that idea that there is a singular time and like okay, I'm gonna hang out with you. Like we can grab coffee, but like at 2 p.m. I gotta go.
Okay.
Versus like hey, let's intentionally just sit and enjoy the time and the time ends when the conversation ends or when like we feel like we've had like when the vibe is done
Right.
and just enjoying and like being that requires that kind of like what we were talking about earlier like that presence of just being present in the moment and the value that comes from that so yeah I mean I think that is that and then Sarah is just a fantastic like incredibly caring human being.
I've met Sarah. I can.
Yeah.
I concur. I
She's
agree.
just like she is interesting. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Sarah coming in.
What? Yeah. Next, if only, yeah.
This is now the Sarah episode, by the way.
Listen, I'd be happy to talk about my wife for a long time. But yeah, like I think she's an incredibly ambitious person, but like as you know her story, like what she defines as ambition, what her goals are, have changed like completely throughout these years, and it's been fantastic to be her husband on that journey.
And can I give one of my favorite Sarah stories?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we had a reunion at my place long ago to watch the movie Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah.
And I think this might have been one of the first times I've talked to Sarah.
Yes.
They came over to our house. Afterwards, we had a conversation, and somehow we got onto the topic of what's the craziest story from high school that you have.
Yeah.
And I went to Lane Tech in Chicago, and one of the craziest ones that I got to was multiple fights throughout the school year.
Yeah.
But before my freshman year, there was bomb threats in the school, right?
Yeah, dang.
So they had to like cancel school for a couple of days until they figured out it was fake. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty good story, And then in comes Sarah, and she talks about how she went to high school in Brazil.
Yeah.
In essentially the favelas.
From
how
it was
she described it, or
adjacent, near enough, yeah.
Where one day there was a helicopter and there was a chopper gunner. There was a guy in the helicopter with a gun just shooting into the favelas.
Yeah.
Like in plain sight of when she was in high school, right? So she
100%,
was a younger age. And yeah, I shut up immediately and I said, that's a great story. No context
your
at
story,
all.
and then right there.
Chopper gunner in the favelas.
That's real danger, brother. Talking about a bomb threat over here.
Someone got
Call of Duty chopper gunner.
11 kill streak and they got the chopper gunner.
Yeah. Except real.
Somebody's going for a nuke.
Thank God. Otherwise, Sarah wouldn't be here. They didn't get the nuke.
Yeah.
So this is Sarah, right? The sweet Sarah. But like, imagine like, what does that mean growing up in that? How do you become who you are? Who Sarah is? Having that kind of story and growing up around that.
Oh yeah.
So again, we're getting to the crux of all these types of things of how everyone becomes who they are.
Yeah.
Despite what may or may not have happened. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because that was one of my favorite Sarah stories.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, speaking of Lane Tech, because you met Alyssa.
I did. Yeah.
At Lane Tech.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Alyssa story? That's maybe that's too broad of a question because like you're.
I'll give you one that's recent.
Sure. Yeah.
So we just got new pillows. We've been like
congratulations.
We've been upgrading. Why is that funny?
Listen.
The crowd. Why is the crowd going wild?
Congratulations is incredible.
When you have a home with
someone, you are 30 plus years old.
Yeah, you get so excited. New pillows.
In your 5th year of marriage,
I've got
a new car.
You're sleeping at 8 p.m. This is high.
I take as a 32-year-old man, I take my special pillow to hotels. So like,
I need to start doing that.
It's got a nice curve to it. It supports my neck. It's great. But I'm sorry. We're
this is 30 plus year old talk here. Okay,
so
we have been maximizing our sleeping space, right? So blackout curtains, the humidifier for the winter, the pillow. So we just got new pillows. And very recently, right, within that last month. So I told Alyssa, it comes with instructions. It says every day, when you wake up before you leave, you have to fluff up your pillow a little bit so that way, it doesn't get stuck in whatever memory of your face.
Yeah.
And I told Alyssa this when we were about to go to sleep. I'm like, hey, don't forget, you just have to fluff up your pillow. That's all I said. And then unprompted, she just started beating the shit out of her pillow. Just like, bro, I started dying.
Yeah. I'm going to do that to your ass next time you tell me to fluff up my pillow, man.
This is that manipulative side that my dad has. Like, so she's not telling me that's me, but I'm picking up on the side. I'm picking up what she's putting out there.
Did she make unbroken eye contact while she was doing
for
it?
Sure.
Like, yeah.
I was like, all right, don't, like, note to self, don't cross. Don't.
She said,
just don't. That's it. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a million stories. Like today, I think I was dying. I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, we've been together with our now wives for so long, right? There's so many different stories, and we are who we are because of them, and they are who they are because of us, right? So
100%.
everybody has something to bring to the table. And we have another question.
Yeah,
guys, you've been absolutely incredible. It's been a real joy listening to you guys here. Little Birdie told me that Joe, you are somewhat of a chef.
Oh, sure.
Am I led to believe correctly?
I home cook. Yeah, thank you.
I think this would be a great topic for you guys to discuss, being our guest hosts here. We're gonna bring back everybody's favorite segment, Anthony. What is that called?
Am I the asshole, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh yeah.
What?
It's been so long.
It's
Okay.
been so long,
okay.
and we're gonna. And in this one, I'm just gonna read the prompt, and you guys, you're not gonna hear anything from us. This is gonna be all you guys on this one. All right.
Deal. Let it rip.
Having to do with being a chef. Am I the asshole for refusing to cook dinner again at home after cooking all day at my job as a chef? I am 37. My wife is 35. We have 2 kids, 4 and 6. I'm a full-time chef. She does part-time work from home and manages the house alone until I come back home. I work at my father's restaurant. I leave for work by 7 a.m. and come back by 6 p.m. Basically, a 12-hour day, demanding job, and I have to stand and work all day. I always cook my breakfast early in the morning, and I don't have to worry about lunch because I always eat at the restaurant. My wife always has to cook her and the kids breakfast and lunch as they wake up after I leave. I always make everyone's dinner and she does the dishes. I primarily manage the kids after coming back home. It's been going on like this for years, and it was a mutually agreed plan. My dad is strict with work as I'll be taking over the restaurant after him. So the problem starts coming up when she says, I pack up my lunch and I reach home within 10 to 15 minutes. 99% of the time, the food is hot. Even if it isn't, which is a very exceptional case, we've got all the kitchen appliances to heat it again. Since a while, she's been complaining about it, which I would say are kind of excuses. Like the food's not fresh, sometimes it comes out cold, and it was when I was having a bad day and I'm in no mood to prepare a new sauce just before I leave my shift. That was the one that came out cold. She says that she's tired of eating restaurant food, even though it's not. I make whatever she wants, but she wants me to start cooking dinner at home. It sounds small, but I get too tired to start it all over again at home after rigorously doing the same thing at work the whole day. At home, it takes double the time and I get tired too. At work, it's less pressure as I'm still in working mode. We're having arguments and she suggested voting, but I think our kids are too small to vote for this. The kids love my food and it's healthy. I've asked her many times what the actual issue is, but she just repeats the same thing. Now she has started complaining about my food, even if there isn't any issue at all. Like the salt is less, the spice is too much, onion overcooked, etc. Deliberately irritating me. I have to hear all her grumbling after coming home, tired and exhausted. Finally, I told her that if she keeps getting like this or keeps being like this, that she can cook her own dinner and I'll bring dinner only home for me and the kids. Am I the asshole?
And this segment is brought to you by Skokie's The Spot. It is a new spot in Skokie on Lincoln Avenue. It is a hot pot, boba, and dessert spot. And this, if you can see my hand, if you're watching on YouTube, this is the spot. This is Anthony's arm from Aruba. All right, gentlemen, please.
Joe,
Ooh.
any initial thoughts here?
I mean, at a high level, it sounds like there maybe needs to be more communication going on. And I feel like that's like half the answer to like any of these
Everything.
prompts, right? Yeah, like let's say if you considered like sitting down with each other and talking about it, but like, you know, it is valid that he's tired. A core part of his job is cooking things. And it's valid that she is looking for, you know, some kind of meal. Maybe I don't know if like that this is purely conjecture, but like if the home cooked meal is like symbolic for her or in some like something deeper that she's looking for. Again, I could be reading into that. But I don't know. Like I don't think it's unreasonable for him to say like, hey, I don't think I can do this. And maybe there's like maybe they meal prep. Maybe they like agree that they're gonna like, do some stuff that they're gonna like get takeout for. I don't know.
Mhm.
But like it sounds like there needs to be more conversation as
Yeah.
to like, and then that she's like pointing out, hey, this has too much onion or not enough onion. Hey, there's too much salt, not enough salt, or whatever it was. I don't know. It sounds like there's something deeper going on there.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
initial thought.
yeah.
What about you?
I say they're all assholes, including the kids,
Including the kids.
especially the kids. They didn't say how many kids. I'm guessing at least 2. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Why aren't they cooking? Why aren't they cooking? My mom will tell you she was cooking when she was 2 years old.
Oh, back when I was 3, dude.
She'd cook both ways upside up the hill. And no.
Yeah. She's got the towel over the shoulder.
Yeah, she'll tell you.
Yeah.
No pineapple on her fried rice, please. Okay. So I will say they're both assholes because, like what you're saying, they need to have a conversation. Right? So it seems like they're at an impasse there. And I think, so like, for example, me and Alyssa, right? Alyssa works 7 to 7, but she leaves at 6 and she comes back at 8, right? There is no time there where she's going to cook. So I work a desk job. So I'm sitting most of the time, whereas my wife, Alyssa, she's standing most of the time, right? Just the fact that you're standing is exhausting. So it'd be crazy for me to expect for her to do that full shift and come back and then home and then cook, right? One, I'd be the asshole. And then 2, I wouldn't eat until she could. That'd be stupid on so many levels, right? So to your point, meal prepping is an awesome option, right? It just seems like communicate, and then maybe your Sundays when you're off of work, you just prep a bunch of shit and get it ready for the week. That way, and you pre-communicated like how many days is it acceptable for you to eat this versus that. And again, it's communication is always everything. Like, I don't know, I'm a big proponent of talking out your problems and figuring out a common ground, right? Because no one's like what they say, like the perfect agreement between 2 people is one where both of you feel like you lost, right? Like if we're both disagreeing on something, I want something and you want something. Like if we come to an agreement and we both feel like we lost, then that's the fair agreement, right? Because we both had to give something up in order to reach that common ground. And so what does that look like for a relationship is what is up to the relationship to decide.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
That's a great question.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the only other thing I'd add is like I feel like a lot of times there's the argument, and then there's like what the argument means to each person. Of like, I think of even like Sarah and I, we like it wasn't even really an argument, but like just I learned recently, like for her, she prefers to have breakfast when she first wakes up. For me, I want to do all the like getting ready, showering, all that, and then I have breakfast. I was like, oh, I didn't even think you could think that. Like, she's like, yeah, that's like the motive. Like, that's like the first thing, get energy in your body and go. Like, I didn't even think that would be a different way that someone could think. Just having that communication, maybe a home cooked meal is symbolic of something deeper that she's looking for. I don't know. Oh, yeah.
Incredible answer, guys. Incredible answer. This has been such a joy to watch as an audience here. And kind of closing thoughts here. Joe, I'm curious to hear your answer because obviously you moved to Chicago. Favorite part about Chicago? Time's coming up. I want to hear both of you guys' answers. Even some argue that the best time of Chicago is just starting.
Chicago summer.
The time of the year.
Yeah, we're here.
So let's
We're
please,
so
guys, give us your closing thoughts here.
Oh yeah. I would say the best part of Chicago for me is just like the quantity and diversity of people that all live in one fantastic city. Like you can walk down a street in Chicago and you hear like 5 different languages. Like I had this perfect going back to bringing it full circle, like core memory. So Sarah's cousin and her husband visited us along with her aunt and their like 2-year-old kid, their 2-year-old child. Or no, sorry, he was like 1.5. I don't know. He's a tiny little guy,
Baby, yeah.
but he's adorable. This adorable child, and we're just taking the bus, and it was like the perfect Chicago bus experience because like the driver, he was Puerto Rican, so he was like singing like kids songs that he remembered to this like 18-month-old child in Spanish. Like he was making them laugh. There were other people on the bus who were like waving and smiling. Like everybody was like kind of vibing together. All different ages, all different walks of life, just super jazzed to like be on this bus and enjoying this child, enjoying this experience, and just driving past, seeing all the different buildings, all that. And like this child and everybody else on the bus was having a great time just vibing. And you can't get that elsewhere. So that is the summary of what is great about Chicago in my mind.
And to go off of that point, to live in a big city means that you yourself have to grow as a person because you're surrounded by so many more people than you would ever be surrounded by otherwise.
Yes.
So you have to become a more empathetic person, a more patient person, and because otherwise you won't survive in a city. Like if you're stuck up, if you're an asshole to other people, like you're just not you're not cut out to be in a city. So you know, so to answer the question, one of the things I love about Chicago, and I will say I've said this to everyone, and I've seen a lot of cool places. Chicago is the greatest city on earth, 9 months out of the year. I will put it up against any city, and I mean that. And like you said, like we're getting to that point right now.
100%.
What I love about Chicago is the energy when it gets to 70 degrees, when spring's coming, the birds
Or
are out, the flowers.
50.
Or 50 after a long winter.
Right.
You wear your first pair of shorts, you see your legs are completely white and haven't seen sun for months. And it's that energy where you just people like their car windows are down, the music's blasting. You'll hear all sorts of music, and it's just like, oh, you just feel that warmth on you, and you're just like, all right, here we go. And obviously, with energy comes a lot of things. That's just looking at thermodynamics, Mr. Mechanical Engineer.
Thank you.
Entropy just means things are more in motion, so more things happen. But no, truly, Chicago, you can become whoever you want to be. You have the means for it. You just have to you just have to go out there and find it. So,
100%.
With that, the perfect Chicago way to end this episode.
That's unbelievable, guys. We're coming back from where we're just now walking into the finishing of the recording. I just want to say, if you guys are listening every week, at this point, you're doing yourself a disservice. We are putting content out there that you can relate to, things that are easy to hear, bringing in guests that you've been wanting. Joe here, for example, today. Guys, invest early. Just like Chicago Delivery Dives, Joe is just getting hot right now. Don't be the person that 10 years from now is like, man, I missed out. I'm not a DDer. You're gonna look back on this moment. You're gonna remember. Uncle Sebastian told you right from the very beginning. Honk.
And with that, we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.